So a bit of breaking news when it comes to the WWE Network and the future of the WWE Network, because it's been first reported via Variety that NBCU's Peacock streaming service has won the WWE Network exclusive US streaming rights. It's certainly a massive story that's coming out over the course of the last hour or so. They've reported that NBC Universal's Peacock will soon be the only place to watch the WWE Network that's just in the United States, though. Now, WWE and NBC Universal have reached a multi-year agreement giving Peacock exclusive streaming rights to the WWE Network for American viewers. Now, the over-the-top wrestling entertainment service existing US subscribers, which is roughly about 1.1 million in total, will be migrated over to Peacock Premium, where they'll continue to get access to the WWE Network, but they'll actually pay 50% less per month while getting full access to the version of Peacock Premium tier with ads. So to be honest, if you're a WWE Network subscriber in the United States, it's surprising, and I think a lot of people would be worried that this might mean that, I don't know, things will change with the network, but in actuality, it's a good deal. It's a good deal for the US viewers of the WWE Network, in the sense that you'll pay 50% less per month for Peacock Premium and the WWE Network, and you'll also get full access to Peacock Premium tier just with ads. That's not bad. If you're a fan of the products that NBC Universal offer, so everything when it comes to NBC or the USA Network or anything that falls underneath that umbrella, you get all of that. If you didn't have Peacock, you now do, and you also still have the WWE Network as well. So nothing really is going to change. Just make sure you download the Peacock app, as it were. It's surprising. I don't think anyone really saw it coming. Now, Peacock will launch the WWE Network on March 18, 2021, when Peacock will begin the rollout of more than 17,000 hours of WWE Network new, original, and library programming, both on demand and a new 24-hour channel. The NBCU streamer will have all WWE live events for no additional charge. This includes WrestleMania, SummerSlam, with the Fastlane pay-per-view being the first event to stream on Peacock on Sunday, March 21. WWE fans who would prefer to order the event via traditional pay-per-view service, of course, they can still. That has been the case for the WWE Network ever since it was launched back in March of 2014. Now, the WWE Network will be available on Peacock Premium, which, of course, it does include ads, for $4.99 per month. That's $4.99 per month, half the price of the WWE Network's current $9.99 per month. The No Commercials Peacock Premium Plus plan, which costs $9.99 a month, will also include the WWE Network. So, as I mentioned, you basically get 50% off, plus you get Peacock. You just have to deal with the ads. If you don't want to deal with the ads, you just pay the usual rate that you were paying anyway, the $9.99 per month. You get the WWE Network, and you get the Peacock streaming service. That's not bad. That really is not bad. There's been a lot of discussion, hasn't there, when it comes to, I know this is quite non-wrestling related, but there's been a lot of discussion over the course of the last few years about there's too many streaming services, right? You've got Netflix, you've got Disney Plus, you've got Amazon Prime, you've got Peacock, you've got whatever. Every major platform, you've got Apple TV. Every single major platform has their own streaming service. And I think whilst originally people were very excited about them, people started to do the sort of maths in their head and sort of go, actually, if I'm paying for all of these different streaming services, man, it's going to be more expensive than cable ever was, or satellite ever was. And that was a concern for people. So this is really one of the sort of bigger surprises that it comes to two over the top streaming services like WWE Network, like Peacock. They're merging together in the United States. It's certainly very interesting. Now, the companies plan to share details of how existing WWE Network subscribers in the US will be switched to Peacock. For example, whether they will be automatically subscribed to Peacock in the next few weeks. But when it comes to all of the people outside of the US, myself included, here in the UK or around the world, wherever WWE Network is currently launched, nothing will change. Nothing will change when it comes to that. However, I suppose there will be some people wondering, if this is the beginning of WWE Network merging with NBC Universal's Peacock streaming service, what happens over here, say, in the UK, if Peacock does launch? For now, nothing changes, but certainly stuff could happen in the future. It's certainly surprising. My initial reaction when I first saw it was, man, WWE wants the money, and I think that's probably the case. They always like to say, don't they, Vince McMahon, Triple H, whoever, they always say, we're open for business. We're always open for business, and it's proved to be correct. It's proved to be correct. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. The WWE Network, when it was launched in 2014, it was obviously to a Netflix model, and it was one of the first companies to copy that Netflix model. Obviously, we've seen many other services do it since then. I think Was it as successful as they previously wanted? I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know the subscriber number to become profitable, but I don't think they got as many subscribers as they thought they were going to get. As I mentioned, that currently is 1.1 million subscribers. I think personally WWE wanted way more than that, and I think they projected way more than that. Not to say that it's a loss leader or anything like that. Not to say that they lose money on it every month, because I don't think they do. But I think they probably thought it'd be way more profitable than it is. And I think always they had in their mind, look, we can build this up, we can sell it. Because there are going to be companies like NBC Universal that are desperate for content. The issue is when you have these streaming services, it's content. Because people nowadays, I speak about this when we talk about ratings and television ratings, people consume content so differently now. They want it now. On-demand viewing is more in demand than it's ever been. Because people want content all the time. They want content now. They don't want to have to wait for it. They don't have to wait a week for it. They don't watch television the same way that they used to in the past. They want content. They always want it. And I think in the back of WWE's mind, that was always an ace that they had in the hole, in the sense that, look, if times get tough, which I think they have because of COVID right now, because of the pandemic, if times get tough, we can always sell our back library. There were always reports that they could go to Disney. Disney and WWE have always been talked about, haven't they? Disney could buy the WWE in general, or they could buy the WWE's content. They could buy rights to the library. And it looks like now that Peacock's just done that. Peacock have bought, NBC Universal have bought WWE's library. They've got exclusive rights. I don't know, they own it. They are licensing it. They have the exclusive rights to it in the United States. And obviously, as I mentioned, it's just the beginning. I think it's just the beginning, because if Peacock is rolled out around the world, which I don't know how they'll do that, but certainly they'll look at it, that means that the WWE Network will come with that. But it certainly is going to be interesting. Look, when it comes to financial terms of this deal, the Peacock WWE Network pact, they've not been disclosed yet. It's been rumoured, though, I'm just looking through the articles now, it's been rumoured that this could be a situation where it's a 5-year deal at over $1 billion. So again, WWE's bringing in that cash. And you look at the deals that WWE have been able to do over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, criticize them, they're making money. They make money. Obviously, they signed new television rights deals at the end of 2018, which were incredibly lucrative. You had Raw stay on the USA Network. They signed that deal with NBC Universal, which was something around $850 million, I believe, in that avenue. And of course, SmackDown became exclusive to Fox for $1 billion over 5 years. So that was incredibly lucrative. That was massively lucrative, and WWE's share price skyrocketed because of that. In addition, they also have the deal with the Saudi Arabian government to do those 2 or 3 Saudi pay-per-views every year. And again, incredibly lucrative deal. They get an obscene amount of money per show and for the entirety of that deal. And now they've just signed another 5-year $1 billion deal. Considering the current climate that we're in right now with COVID and the pandemic, considering the current climate that we're in right now when it comes to the economy and it comes to a worldwide recession, the biggest recession I think since the Great Depression, something along that avenue. I'm not an economic expert, but I think that's the case. WWE will be very, very, very happy to make that kind of deal. And obviously, it's no surprise that they're doing this deal around the time that they're going to start disclosing their first quarterly results financially. And now, because of this deal, they can say to their stockholders and their shareholders, and they can say about their stock price that they're more profitable than ever. They've got record revenue in this first quarter despite the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. That's what WWE does. When it came to the pandemic last year, when they had to start talking about quarterly results, they released all of that talent due to the pandemic, due to those budget cuts, because they could then say in those stock meetings, in those quarterly results calls that you hear about all the time, they could say to their shareholders, look, we're more profitable than ever. We made more money than ever, and we're more profitable than ever because they got rid of a quarter of their workforce. And it'll be the same this time. They can say to their shareholders, we are more profitable than ever because we just signed this $5 billion deal. We've got a $5 billion deal with Fox. We've got an $850 million deal with NBC Universal for Raw. We've got the deal when it comes to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well. WWE is not suffering for money right now, despite the pandemic, and I'm sure they'll be very happy about that. So it's a very big deal when it comes to the future of WWE. I think this does open up interesting discussions when it comes to other international rights for WWE and their WWE Network property. Does this mean the death of the WWE Network? I suppose in the United States it does. It does mean the death of the network. Has it been a failure? I don't know. As I mentioned before, I do think that WWE expected to have in 2021, when they launched in 2014, I think they probably expected to have more than 1.1 million subscribers to the network. You had those hilarious quotes from the likes of Vince and Stephanie McMahon saying they wanted to compete with Disney levels and all that kind of stuff. And WWE will never be able to do that. They are the Disney of pro wrestling, but they are not the Disney of entertainment. That is Disney. That's how it works. So I don't know if they ever hit their subscribers milestone that they originally would have wanted. But it makes sense for WWE financially, considering the current climate. If you can ink a deal that gets you $1 billion to license your library of content, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And for the subscribers in the United States, as I mentioned, it's really not a bad deal. It's really not a bad deal because you still get the WWE Network, but you get the Peacock service for half the price as well. You get the network for half price. You get Peacock on top of it. If you're a fan of the US office or whatever, and all of these NBC Universal properties, I mean, you're laughing. I mean, you really are laughing. It's not a bad deal. I think when it comes to, as I mentioned, it shows WWE's mindset right now when it comes to licensing of their properties. I think this could be the beginning around the world. So if there are, certain streaming platforms over here in the United Kingdom, maybe that will change. I don't know. It'll certainly be interesting. We have some other information here when it comes about it. So NBC and WWE have been partners for almost 30 years, starting in 1993 with Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. Obviously, there was a period of time where they were actually on TNN/Spike, but they came back in 2005 to that. In the third quarter of 2020, WWE had a network average paid subscribers of 1.6 million, down around 60,000 from the prior quarter, but an increase of 6% year over year, marking the service's first annual growth since Q1 of 2019, as I mentioned. That's the point. WWE Network has essentially been flat for a while now, and I think initially they would have wanted, a much larger growth in terms of subscriptions, paid subscriptions. But starting in 2022, WWE will produce one signature documentary annually for the WWE Network on Peacock. Also available on WWE Network are about 100 hours of original series like Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions, Undertaker The Last Ride, and the recently premiered WWE Icons in-ring shows like NXT, NXT UK, and WWE 205 Live, as well as replays of Raw and SmackDown, WWE Network archives, including every WWE, WCW, and ECW pay-per-view event in history, and documentaries including WWE 24, WWE Untold, and WWE 365. Now, this might be good for WWE in terms of viewership, frankly, of the network, because as I mentioned, when you come to the WWE Network, you've got 1.6, 1.1, I mean, the number varies, but you've got over 1 million paid subscribers. So roughly, and this isn't an exact science, but roughly, when you've got these WWE pay-per-views, you get about 1 million people viewing it. You get about 1 million people viewing these pay-per-views, right? In comparison, Peacock, which NBC Universal launched nationwide in July of 2020, attracted nearly 22 million user signups in its first 6 months of wide release, according to the company. Eligible customers of Comcast Infinity X1, Flex, and Cox's Contour, a total of about 24 million households, get Peacock Premium included at no additional cost. So potentially, if you've got 22 million user signups in the first 6 months and you've got 24 million households, I mean, you're looking at nearly 50 million people viewing the WWE Network in comparison to 1.6. From a WWE point of view, you're getting $1 billion and potentially you're getting 50 million people watching. It's a no-brainer. It is an absolute no-brainer for WWE to do this because, frankly, you got more people watching them. So when you have these discussions in the future, like, Raw is being watched less than 1.5 million people, blah, 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 WWE can turn around and say to their stockholders and their shareholders, look, yes, Raw ratings are down and television ratings are down, but potentially we could have 50 million people watching WrestleMania in comparison to one. That is, I mean, it's insanity. It's insanity. So from my point of view, when it comes to this deal that has been announced, for me, it does make total sense. I think it makes total sense. I think it's a win for the WWE Network in terms of, obviously, the finances. I think it's a win for the WWE Network in terms of the in terms of people viewing the product. More people are going to be viewing the network than ever before. You've got more people signed up technically to the network than ever before, because that's how you get the casual fan. You get the casual fan. They might have Peacock to watch The Office, and then they say, oh, WWE Network's on there. I remember watching WWE back in the day. You know what? I'll go back and watch it. Maybe they then get involved in it once again. It's smart. So financially, it's smart. Viewership, it's smart. I think it all makes sense. And for the viewer at home, if you've got Peacock, you get WWE. If you have the WWE Network, you're getting Peacock and the WWE Network at half the price. I mean, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. I think a lot of people are shocked, and I think initially people were concerned about it, but I do think it's a win-win deal financially, viewership, and just everything looks very good for WWE. Obviously, people might say now, does that mean WWE's attempt at doing their own standalone network was that a failure? Ultimately, time will tell. But I think this deal makes a lot of financial sense and certainly interesting. Certainly kept people off guard, but you never know what to expect when it comes to pro wrestling nowadays, do you? But of course, as always, it's just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on NBC Universal Peacock streaming service winning WWE Network exclusive streaming rights in the United States? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community. Drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Go up the rankings and get to people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestling News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or how have you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.